The Concacaf W Championship is here. You can catch our full preview that we put out recently with Lori Lindsay. We also had Daniel Slayton on as a guest to talk about the final prep matches against Colombia. You can go and check those episodes out, listen to it as a podcast. You can watch it on YouTube. You can check out my content on CBSSports.com if you want a reintroduction to the 23 players on the United States women's national team who are going to be competing for a spot in the World Cup. Go check it out there. We've got all kinds of stuff on how the CONCACAF W Championship works. It's not just qualifying for the World Cup. There's some other things at stake, and you can check out some NWSL players that I want you to keep an eye on in the CONCACAF W Championship, players who are not affiliated with the United States women's national team. So head on over to CBSSports.com and check out all of the content that we've got rolling out for you. We're going to be taking a deeper dive here for you all as the first match, the opening group stage match for the United States women's national team is going to be kicking off on July 4th. That's Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern. And guess what? You can catch all of the entirety of the CONCACAF W Championship on Paramount Plus. You can watch the highlights on Attacking Third YouTube. You can watch match replays on Paramount Plus if you want. I am so excited to finally be able to sit down and talk about a preview for the first match of CONCACAF W Championship. Lisa, we're here. We made it to qualifiers.
We made it. World Cup qualifiers. It's here. It feels like we were just covering the Olympics, which we were, to be honest, less than a year ago. But I am very excited about this. It's happening. It's here. We've done so much build up to this. The U.S. have completed their friendlies against Colombia, where we got to see a taste of the 23 that are going to Monterrey, Mexico, or frankly are already in Monterrey, Mexico. And hear head coach Vlatko Andonovski speak not only about the competition and what is to come in CONCACAF and what he's looking for from his team, but speak specifically about individual players and what he's expecting from them, who we can, as fans and media, expect to see on the pitch getting consistent minutes, what he's liked and what he hasn't liked, what he wants to see improve upon. And the two friendlies against Colombia, they were pretty telling about what this team is and where they are right now. And when I say they were pretty telling about it, it means that I have some questions because they weren't strong in what they in certain methods of playing or certain methods of breaking down a low block. And that's what I am very intrigued to watch unfold throughout the CONCACAF W Championship. But it all starts on Monday, July 4th, a heck of a way to close out your Independence Day with this game, 7 o'clock Eastern. It's happening, and you can watch all of these on Paramount Plus and CBS. We're going to be doing live coverage for you here at Attacking Third. We'll be going live right after this match ends, along with Lori Lindsay to recap it and talk about it. So join us on youtube.com/Attacking Third. We'll be here to talk about it. But it's here. US versus Haiti Monday.
I also can't believe it's already July. Quite frankly, I'm also just like, my goodness, we just flew through June. Like, there's that other part of it too. I'm like, oh my goodness, like we flew through June, and quite frankly, with this tournament, we're going to fly through July. Before we know it, we're going to blink and it's going to be over before we're already talking about it, even just its arrival and being here. But I'm into that. I'm very excited for us to be doing our live U.S. women's national team post-game coverage on Attacking Third, and listen, if you celebrate July 4th, come check us out after the fireworks, like see what's going on, see what we got to say about this game. But it's going to be United States going up against Haiti. We've got Haiti entering this match off of their qualifier, their road to this moment. We saw them play during February and during April of the CONCACAF W qualification process, and they absolutely dominated their group, Lisa.
They completely did. Haiti plowed through the qualifiers, heading into the final game against Cuba that Haiti played. They already had 38 goals, and they end up with a 44 goal differential throughout the qualifiers, 0 goals against. Incredibly impressive to see from Haiti. And of these 44 goals, 13 players scored these goals. But another thing to look at across this Haiti national team is the players that they have and their ages and what they've already been able to do, because
Yeah.
I think that's something that's super important. We talked so much about from the U.S. side, and the perspective is this is going to be a very different experience for them going to Monterrey, Mexico. The conditions, the training facilities, the competition, the fans that's happening. And that's why it was so crucial for Vlatko Andonovski to bring veterans like Megan Rapinoe and Alex Morgan and Kelly O'Hara to provide that veteran leadership and ability off the pitch as much as on the pitch, like a player like O'Hara and Sauerbrunn. So when you look at this Haiti team, the average the average age of all the players is 21.25. And that's excuse me?
It's a young squad.
It's a very young squad. And that is including Rose Lord Borgea, who is 29 years old and the oldest player on the roster by 4 years. The next one is Bachaba Luis, who also are the top 2 goal scorers throughout the Haiti qualifiers, the Concacaf qualifiers for Haiti. So the average age is 21. Incredibly impressive. There are so many 18-year-olds. There are 10 players on this squad that are age 20 or younger. So this is a young squad that can run, that can compete, that can go in transition, that can sit back and defend. We saw that throughout the qualifiers, having 0 goals against, but then also spring forward and attack. Now how well they do that against the United States and getting split between the lines, that's the only thing that I am looking at for Haiti, because when they do stretch and they go in attack, they're mostly attacking with just 3 front runners, maybe 1 midfielder coming in behind. So it's just 4 players in the front, and there's a big gap in the midfield. And if the United States can occupy that gap as Haiti gets stretched out when they look to go in the attack, and their young athletic players are running all around because they have so much energy and they're in a World Cup qualifier, that this is a big game for them, right? As it is a big game for the U.S. But so those are the holes that I want the U.S. to find in between the lines where Haiti is stretched out and pop into those holes. And that's how the United States is going to be able to pick apart a team like Haiti. But Haiti's my dark horse throughout this
I know
Concacaf
you picked them in the previous episode when we did the preview. I love hearing you chat a little bit about it. I'm really excited for honestly for audiences to maybe get reintroduced. We had across Paramount Plus the qualification process for this moment. So there's some familiarity with Haiti already for folks who have maybe watched those games that took place in February and in April. But besides this team sort of not only just being a young group, they're a young group that's been together for quite some time. They have played together. There is familiarity there. We can see it in their results. We saw it in their results during the qualification process to this moment, putting up some really, really heavy score lines within their group. But I'm also just equally impressed with their ability and their intelligence to just sort of shift through different stylistic things and formations. They are not a team that is afraid, I think, to change things up or make that adjustment when they need to. If they have to go from plan A to their plan B, they'll do it. And oftentimes they might even find the breakthrough and steal the momentum. I mean, I love that this team had a couple of prep games of their own ahead of this tournament. And I love that they had them against Costa Rica. This is another CONCACAF team that they're going to, potentially see down the road, depending on how the group stage shakes out. So the fact that they had these preparation games against Costa Rica, and we're talking about a 2-1 scoreline, a 4-2 scoreline. Haiti is a team with a lot of good ability. And I love that they're your dark horse, because looking at this group A, I think a lot of folks are looking at it and saying like, oh, this is a tough road. This is some group of death energy right here. And if you're saying that, it's because of the strength of Haiti. So I'm very excited to see what this team can do against the United States.